Hey, it's Filet, and you're watching Filet TV, the ultimate YouTube channel. No cinematographers to do with the camera. All right, today in the Gearhead Gardener. As you can see, we got to mess with car parts everywhere, but I want to take time to play with my trees since it is the beginning of fall and the weather's lovely. All right, so today we are going to be looking at this coastal oak, and I'm going to, like I said, chop it up a little bit, and we'll see what it takes to make this thing look halfway decent. At least get it prepared for next year's seasonal growth. So if this is something you're interested in, let's get started. I really love maple trees, which you guys know, so I want to show you some other trees that I like. I found these kind of expired old trees that are kind of dwarf, but they're registered California native trees. Here you can see a big leaf maple that's just gone into dormancy. And this is pretty cool. This is a California oak, again registered as a California native. And then I got this vintage little sycamore tree. These are all about 10 to 15 years old, sitting behind a nursery. Down here I've got a bunch of other oak trees that I've started. I've got white oak that I bought from little seedlings online, and then some acorns that I have got to sprout. All right, what you're looking at here is a California coastal oak that sprung up in one of my potted plants about 6 years ago. As you can see, we've got a lot of root structure going on. It's a mess, but it lived in a small little tiny pot for quite a while, and then I moved it over to this one. And this is all just natural movement. And as you can see, it's towers way above the yardstick. And normally, you know, you want these things about 28 inches, so I might cut it down to here, but I don't know. Like I said, I've been growing this one for quite some time. Actually, the shadow looks better than the actual tree. You can see this year it started trying to put out a new leader with this lower branch here. So I know for sure that has to be cut because it's getting kind of wild. But I got a branch going in this direction. There's a branch going in that direction. And down here, there's another branch coming out there. And about 28 inches for formal or informal upright. So I think if I cut this here and made this become the new leader, we just lost this top piece and shorten this one down to about here, and still leave it for a sacrificial, but make it so it's not in danger of taking over as a leader. There's a couple of intersections here that look nice. I know it's hard to see with the yardstick. Let's get this out of here. And the big stick that's holding this thing up, and my shadow. But I don't always videotape everything I do, but this one, since I've been babying it since it's been young, and I had a couple other ones that didn't make it. I mean, now I got whole trays of them going like crazy, but this one's kind of special to me. So I think I'm trying to decide if I want to just leave it as natural glory and just cut that leader off and let it grow a couple more seasons, or do I want to chop it? I chopped it, you know, a couple times when it was younger. Do I want to chop it again and let all this thicken up? Which I think I might. Okay, what you're looking at here is a little California coastal oak that I sprouted from ACORN that was planted in November, and it sprouted about 6 or 8 weeks later. So this is just 1 year old. And it gets full sun, you know, it gets neglected, hid behind other plants. And you see it's doing pretty well, you know. How big is that? 9 inches, look at that. Okay, so fast forward 8 years, and this is what it turns into. Okay, so this coastal oak, it's a non-deciduous tree, so it means it's not going to lose its leaves. So these leaves are semi-permanent. And I brought it into the studio today so we can take a better look at it and see. We've got quite a bit of branching. It's been chopped once or twice, but it's got this big leader grown here, which I'm going to probably remove. And I'm trying to decide if it's something I want to chop down to about the 28-inch mark, which would be here, maybe there. And I'll cut it here, make this the new leader. You can see it's got nice movement. The roots are a little crazy because it's been going around in a circle in a smaller pot. And I put it into this large pot here, I think last year must have been. And this morning I went and tied it up because it just droops all over the place because it's just long and linky and doesn't really make much sense being this tall. Plus at my house, well, this coastal oak will survive, but the sun just kills anything that's too tall. So this branch I think is just going to get, for now, cut down to about here and leave it as a sacrificial branch. And I wasn't really dead set on cutting anything up with this, but that branch is pretty low and it doesn't need to be the new leader. So let's go ahead and take this down with a different pair of cutters. So like I said, I just snipped this off, forgot to hit play, and then I snipped it again. So I've taken 2 pieces off to just kind of leave this with some length, and maybe we'll even try and wire it. This one will be a nice side branch. This is a nice side branch. So I think successfully, God, I hate to do this, but that's that. And this, I just, like I said, tied up this morning just to get a look at the height because it was pretty droopy. And this is the piece I removed. Could have air layered it, maybe made a nice little tree like this out of it, but I got a few of these going on now, so these could be put aside. Poor JJ's over here with a cone in his head. Right, JJ? Poor guy, I noticed he was licking the back of his leg and made a little raw spot. So poor JJ's in a cone. Okay. I'm gonna set the camera down. I'm gonna untie the rest of this and pull this stick out. Okay, it's kind of crazy. This is the first time it's been able to stand up on its own without a big, huge stick for quite some time because it was getting so tall. I'm gonna cut this back a little bit more here. And I think I might shorten that other one. But first, I'm just going to give this a little bit of paste. So we're not going to be drying out. I guess I should have put the camera down for that, but that's all right. I think that will become the new leader. I'm going to chop each one of those and these other small branches. I'm going to cut it off here. And that one I'm going to leave. I think I'm going to cut that one there and that one there. I think I'll pull off these fried leaves. We've got nice movement now to the trunk. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I've gone and used some 2.5 mil on this little, on the big branch here, and just got a little bit of a bend on it because I don't want it to drop too low. And then 1.5 mil on this one, and I kind of dragged it all the way up to give a little bit of movement to this one. Up top, I haven't changed anything because I'm hoping that this is going to become the new strong leader and it'll head more vertical. Or do I cut it here and let it start over? That's a nice little intersection. Maybe we'll let that stay. But if it stands up, then it's too tall. So these I'm just going to shorten to right there. Hopefully we'll get new side branches coming out of here. This is the fourth week of fall, so we're just getting close into the beginning of November. So these are gonna they're not gonna go dormant because they're non-deciduous, but they're just gonna sit there for the rest of the winter, and I'm not gonna touch it. We'll come back to this. So that's it on this one. Not much, just a little trimming on a rescue volunteer California coastal oak that started from seed about 7 years ago. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Come along with me on this adventure while I fix up these old Volkswagens and play with my trees in my retirement. Thanks for watching. The Gearhead Gardener here on Filet TV. Ciao.